Think about a water bottle. Yes, any water bottle. Imagine the ridges the water bottle has, the sticker of the brand wrapped around it, the plastic and its transparency. Get deep into what the water bottle looks like. Does it feel real? Like while you're visualizing the water bottle, does it almost seem like you're actually seeing it in the real world? I mean, you know you're like not actually seeing a water bottle, but like there's a level of like immersion when you do pretend. Well, if the answer is yes, congratulations, you just visualize perfectly. Visualization has been backed up by science, quantum physics to be exact, and that's too complicated, so I'm not going to get into it. But just believe me. And there's been countless studies done on the power of belief in visualization, such as placebos. I mean, literally, they use placebos in like the pharmaceutical business. If a drug isn't better than a placebo, they don't put it on the shelves. This is something that has been studied and has been proved to work countless times. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to visualize properly. And without being said, let's get into it. Section 1, how visualization works, the law of assumption. You probably heard about the law of attraction, that you have to, resonate at a certain frequency in order to attract the things you want, whether it's wealth, relationships, a career, whatever it is. That in order to get your desires, you have to vibrate at the frequency that your desired thing vibrates at. And you do that through affirmations, meditations, getting rid of negative thoughts, stuff like that. And fundamentally, that isn't wrong. The frequency, the resonating at it, the desires, all of it isn't wrong. It's just the way they go about it that's wrong, or at the very least, too complicated, right? There's too much stuff you have to do. So I'm not going to tell you to do affirmations, mental diets, a vision board. What I'm going to tell you to do is something called the law of assumption. The law of assumption, coined and made popular by Neville Goddard, is extremely similar to the law of attraction. It's just the only thing you need to do is an affirmation, trying to think of only positive thoughts, vision boards, meditations, none of that. All you need to do is close your eyes, visualize, and create a scene that assumes you already have that thing that you're desiring or already achieved that goal. And then latching onto the feelings and emotions that you'll feel if you were in said scene, or in other words, if you already have that desire or you already achieved that goal. Many people have done this. Kanye, Conor McGregor are the main ones that come to mind for me. They literally assumed that they were successful or were going to achieve a certain goal before it even happened, like countless times. And this is essentially all the law of assumption is. You create a scene in the form of a visualization that already assumes that you have said goal, and focus and feel the emotions that you feel in said scene over and over and over and over again, just repeatedly feeling those emotions and repeatedly repeating that scene, right? When I say visualization, think of it like a movie. So your mind is kind of like the projector. It stores the film, and the film in this case is your scene, right? The thing that you're going to create, right? The thing that already assumes that you have what you want, right? And your mind basically holds that like film. So when you put the film in the projector, it projects it onto the movie screen. In this case, the movie screen is your reality. So whatever scene you put into your mind and whatever scene you keep on replaying and replaying in that projector, it will project out slowly but surely into your reality. That's essentially all visualization is. So how can you create your scene and visualize properly? Section 2, creating your scene and visualizing properly. Okay, so how do you create your scene? We know that the main principle that the scene must follow, and it must follow, this is like number 1, it must be after you achieve said goal. So let me put in an example so you can finally understand what I mean when I mean after you achieve said goal. So for me, a big goal that I want to achieve and a big goal that I'm visualizing right now is 100K subs. By my sub count, or however many I have right now, I have 43, but when this video comes up, I don't know, maybe I have like 50 or something. So yeah, there's that. But my scene that I've constructed has me touching and looking at the silver plate button that they give you after reaching 100K subs. So my scene shows me after I already got the 100K subs, since I already have my silver play button. It's not during me getting 100K subs, right? It's like after I get it. So hopefully you get like what I mean now when I say after you achieve said goal. Don't visualize things that will show you during the process of doing the goal. Show things after. Have things like in there, in your scene, that prove to you that you already have what you want. You already have that desire. So the first step to creating your scene is identifying your goal. What is it that you want to achieve? After you have that, the second thing I want you to do is list the feelings that you will be feeling if you would experience that thing. Or a better way to frame it is how would you be feeling if you achieved this goal? So for me, if I was looking and seeing in real time my silver play button and touching it, pause, I would be proud. I would be fulfilled. I wouldn't necessarily say I would be happy. I would lean more to being satisfied. So these are the feelings that I want to feel while playing this scene. Fulfilled, satisfied, and how I already forgot my other one. Proud, right? Proud, fulfilled, and satisfied. These are the feelings that I would want to feel and focus on while I'm playing that scene in my head. Once you have your goal and the feeling you want to experience, now it's time to construct the scene. Now it's actually time to build the scene. Now the goal for the scene is to not make it too long. 5 to 30 seconds is that range, right? If you can't get your point across, if you can't prove to your subconscious that you already have that desired thing in 30 seconds, you need to go back to the drawing board. The best way to do this is have one thing that objectively proves that you achieved the goal you want. So this can be like you're having a conversation with your family members and they congratulate you for getting that dream job, right? That's an objective fact, right? There's no subjectivity to it. They're literally saying, oh, congratulations on the promotion, right? That means you got the promotion, right? Or you wanted to be like me, maybe you got a trophy, medal, or plaque for something, right? To show that you completed and achieved said thing. Maybe it can be you're looking at your bank account and seeing zeros for days, or looking in the mirror and seeing a jacked, ripped guy looking and staring back at you, right? These are objective things that prove that you have that aesthetic body, that you have a successful business, that you placed high in like a tournament or something. Wherever it is, just make sure that there's one thing that objectively proves, like, you can't argue that it doesn't, right? Just think about that. If you can argue that this thing might not prove that you already have that goal, then it's not something you should put in your visualization. It should be hands down, there's no argument, this thing proves that I have that thing. So now you know what your scene should have. It should be quick, and have at least one thing that objectively, not at least one thing, it should have one thing that objectively proves that you already have that thing. Now that you know what it needs, now it's time to actually construct it. By this time, you should have one thing that proves you already have that thing. Now all you have to do is build around that thing. Maybe you walk into your parents' room and your parents are there to congratulate you about the promotion. Maybe you look up at your trophy that's sitting on your dresser that you won when you placed first in that competition. Maybe you look into your bank account and see how much money you have. It can be as simple as you just pick up your phone, you go into your bank account, and you just see the money. Or you literally just look at your trophy, right? And you just pick it up and see it, right? Don't make it too complicated. Don't have a whole story behind this thing, right? Just a quick 2 to 3 seconds on how you get to that place, how you get to that thing, right? Because I don't want you to just visualize that thing. Just something quick, like just picking up the trophy, looking at your bank account, going into your parents' room, just something simple. For example, my 100,000 silver play button, I simply, all I do is I pick it off my desk, quick and simple. That it can be as simple as that, right? We don't just want to visualize that thing. We want to visualize us actually doing something with that thing. So picking it up and just looking at it, quick and simple. That's all the scene has. That's literally my scene. It's like 15 seconds. I pick it up, I just look at it for a little while, put it down, and then I pick it up back again and do the same thing. Repeat it, and repeat it. Also in your scene, don't let it just be an empty void. Add a setting to it. For example, when I visualize me picking up the play button off my desk, I also visualize my desk in my room, the purplish walls, the TV, you get the idea. I have a setting to it. I have a background to it. It's not just me and the play button, right? It's not just me and the play button and like a black void. It's like I have a setting to it. So make sure you have a setting to it because it will make it feel more real and make it feel more immersed. So you got your quick and effective scene, and it's time to visualize. But there's 2 things that you must know and do before you start going crazy with this visualization. And the first thing is do not, and I mean do not, visualize in the third person at all. Always visualize in the first person. When you visualize your scene, you look into your eyes, right? You look into your eyes. So you're in the perspective of you. You're not in a bird's eye view. It should be like you're experiencing it. Because when you're in the third person, it's less effective because you're in the third person. You're not actually experiencing the scene. You're more so just watching, like you're kind of like just in the distance watching. But when you're first person, you're actually experiencing the scene. It feels more real, meaning the emotions are stronger, meaning the visualization will be more effective. Kind of like VR. Imagine playing a horror game just on the TV. Like, it's pretty scary, right? It's one thing to play it on the TV, right? It's pretty scary. But it's more scarier when you're in the VR because you're more immersed, right? It feels more real. That's what we want. We want it to feel more real. So that's one. Always put it in the first person. Always look into your eyes, not in a bird's eye view. The second thing I want you to do is only do this when you're about to fall asleep. We call it a state akin to sleep. You know when you're tired and you have your eyes closed but you're still conscious? Like you can still hear and feel, you're still aware. This is where we want to be, because in this state, we're the closest we can get to the subconscious without being fully asleep, meaning our subconscious is our most vulnerable. So every day when you're about to go to sleep, I want you to get your quick but effective scene with a good setting, all in first person, and focusing on those emotions and all that other good stuff that I told you, right? And literally when you're just about to go to sleep, when you're closing your eyes and you're kind of tired, you just replay that scene over and over and over and over and over again until you fall asleep. And that's literally it. But also, it might be like hard to focus and your mind wants to drift off somewhere, especially when you're first starting like visualization, because all you want to do is just sleep and think of something else, right? So something I did while visualizing my scene is I would take deep breaths, kind of like a meditation. But instead of focusing on the breath, I'm focusing on the scene. And literally just do that until you fall asleep, and that's the entire process. That simple. No vision board. You don't gotta cut out any paper, glue it, stick it to your wall. You don't have to write countless affirmations. That's literally it. That's all it is. State akin to sleep. Deep breaths to focus, and then you just visualize that scene that you created over and over and over again until you fall asleep, and that's it. Section 3. Negative visualization and action. This is kind of like a mini section. But if you ever feel like you're not doing the things you need to do to get to your goal, I want you to negatively visualize the feeling of regret, the feeling of feeling like a loser, feeling of laziness, right, that you get, feeling of missing out on progress if you don't do that thing. For example, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day, and I'm like, I want to go back to sleep. Like every single day, I look at my bed and say, I want to go back to sleep. But every single day, I negatively visualize, consciously or subconsciously, I just negatively visualize how I feel if I went back to sleep. And all the negative thoughts and feelings I feel immediately just poof like that, and I'll spring into action. So trust me, the scene and everything I talked about before is the main thing that you want to do when you're about to fall asleep. But treat negative visualization as a tool to help you. You can do it whenever you feel like you're not, like, you don't want to do something. Feeling when you don't want to do something that you have to do to get closer to your goals. Whenever you're feeling lazy or unmotivated. Because I'm not going to lie, you might feel that way, but I promise you, when you go and show up and do that thing for only 5 minutes tops, you'll be in a flow. For example, I'm scripting at 11:30 a.m. because, I had no school Monday because Christopher Columbus. And after like 4 hours of deep work and a workout, I was just going to read or do relaxing things before I go boxing. But I had this idea that I should just get this like scripting of this next video out the way. But I was like battling myself, like, should I do it? Should I not? I'm gonna just do something else. But I negatively visualized me and how I'll feel if I like just not do it, even though I had the thought of doing it, right? And it just sprung me into action. And an hour later, I'm almost finished with this script. I'm writing this while, scripting, right? I'm almost like finished with the script, right? And I was in a flow 20 minutes in. So trust me, this thing, right? When you're negatively visualizing and you just start, it just springs you into action. Trust me, you'll get into a flow. Just because you don't want to do it now doesn't mean you're not going to want to do it or you're not going to enjoy it while you're doing that thing. Visualization without action is like grilled cheese with no cheese. It's like, what are you doing? Like, come on, bro. Visualization must be paired with action. You can't just visualize your dream body and just believe you don't have to do anything else, but you can continue being a fat ass. But since you visualize, magically you get the six-pack. No, that's not how it works. You pair that visualization with the actions that get you towards your goal. In this case, is the gym, dieting, and recovery. So don't be lazy and just visualize and believe it's going to happen, because it's not. That's not how it works. You have to prove to the universe that you deserve that thing that you're visualizing through your actions, through doing this stuff, through being consistent and being disciplined. I just want to add that I have free one-on-one coaching calls where I help young guys lost in their journey of self-improvement gain clarity and knowledge on how to actually start progressing in their goals without the uncertainty on whether they'll achieve their goals or overcome their roadblocks. So again, it's free. You just book the one-on-one call and we can just talk about whatever you feel like is stopping you from making progress and finally accelerating. So if you're interested, links in the description below. And again, it's free. Anyways, that's all I have for today. I wish you luck in your journey, and peace.